Today, we're going deep underwater off the coast of India to explore a discovery that might just rewrite the very first chapter of human history as we know it. You've heard the myth of Atlantis, right? For centuries, we've been obsessed with this idea of a lost, super advanced civilization that got swallowed by the sea. But what if we've been looking in the wrong ocean, on the wrong continent, this entire time? So picture this. It's January 2026. A team of marine archaeologists are doing some pretty routine seabed surveys in the Arabian Sea. At least the work was routine, until suddenly it wasn't. All of a sudden, their equipment starts going wild. It's picking up something that just shouldn't be there. Perfect geometric shapes, straight lines, right angles. Things that nature doesn't really build. They had stumbled upon the impossible, the ruins of a perfectly planned city, buried under tons of silt and thousands of years of history. Now, to really understand what they found, we have to go back. Way back, to an ancient myth that for centuries, most people just dismissed as pure fantasy. The second these scans came in, it brought up this really striking parallel. In the West, we all know the story of Atlantis, this amazing civilization that vanished beneath the waves. Well, in the East, there's the ancient Indian myth of Dwarka, a golden city, home to a god, that was also swallowed by the ocean. Two different continents, two different cultures, but wow, one very familiar story. The Mahabharata, which is one of the foundational texts of Hinduism, written around 3,000 years ago, describes Dwarka in incredible detail. It talks about systematic town planning, buildings with multiple stories, and this huge, bustling port. For pretty much all of history, everyone just agreed it was a great story, but just a story. And for centuries, that's all it was, a story. But then, in 1983, an archaeologist named Dr. S.R. Rao actually found some underwater stone structures right where the myth said Dwarka would be. But his discovery, it hardly made any waves. Funding dried up, and the first real clue that this myth was true got buried all over again, this time by academic disinterest. So there it lay, forgotten, until now. Fast forward to 2024, a brand new expedition. This one, funded not by academics, but by a private group of tech billionaires, decided they were going to find the truth for themselves. And what they found? Well, it changes absolutely everything. Yeah, these guys didn't show up with just shovels. They brought in the heavy artillery, military-grade sonar that could map the ocean floor in microscopic detail, AI systems to analyze just terabytes of data, and robotic drills that could reach deep below the seabed. This was a serious, heavily funded mission to get answers. The results were just stunning. The Mahabharata described a marvel of engineering, and the sonar revealed a perfect urban grid. The myth mentioned a sophisticated port, and the scans found a massive harbor system. Multi-story buildings from the ancient text, well, they were matched by 30-foot walls and deep foundations on the ocean floor. It was like the ancient myth was lining up perfectly with the modern data. This was the billion-dollar question. If this city was real, when was it actually built? The answer would determine if this was just another old ruin or something else entirely. Okay, for context, let's just quickly look at the official timeline of history we all learn in school. The first cities in Mesopotamia pop up around 5500 BC. The first pyramids, around 3100 BC. Stonehenge is about 2500 BC. This is what we're told is the dawn of civilization. Just remember those dates. The carbon dating results came back from 3 separate, independent labs, and they all confirmed the same date, 7500 BC. Let that sink in for a second. That's 9,500 years ago. A massive, planned city existing nearly 5,000 years before the giant stones of Stonehenge were even put into place. This city existed at a time when we were told humans were basically living in caves. It shatters the entire timeline of human history. But it gets even crazier. The drilling robots pulled up a sealed chamber. Inside, pottery with a written script that nobody recognizes. Evidence of advanced metallurgy. And here's the detail that has archaeologists completely losing their minds. Traces of sophisticated bronze, an alloy of tin and copper. That's Bronze Age technology that existed thousands of years before the Bronze Age was even supposed to begin. Look, a discovery this big isn't just about history. It's about right now. And the minute this news broke, a global scramble began. The crucial question now is, who controls this thing? It's turned into a global free-for-all. You have national governments claiming it as their cultural heritage. Tech companies are circling, hoping to reverse engineer some kind of lost knowledge. Patent lawyers are trying to stake claims. The UN is even stepping in to try and mediate the whole mess. It all boils down to one simple fact. This isn't just about history anymore, it's about power. Whoever controls the story of Dwarka controls a whole new narrative of human achievement. And that, right there, is an incredibly powerful tool. But the ocean wasn't quite done giving up its secrets. The team found one last thing. A final twist that is, well, it's both terrifying and pretty profound. They scanned deeper, and below the impossible 9,500-year-old city, they found another one. An even older layer of ruins, buried even deeper in the mud. The initial estimates are placing these lowest levels at around 12,000 years old. That puts them right at the end of the last ice age, a time of catastrophic sea level rise all across the globe. And they found a thick layer of sediment separating the two cities. Ash, charred material, evidence of a cataclysmic flood. Whatever destroyed this place didn't happen slowly. It was wiped off the map in a single, violent event, just like the myths always said. And this really is the ultimate takeaway from the whole Dwarka discovery. It's a warning from our own deep past. We think our civilization is permanent, that we're the peak of human achievement. Dwarka is proof that we're not, that greatness can be achieved and then completely, totally erased and forgotten. This story is just getting started. But it leaves us with this one kind of haunting question. If a civilization this advanced could be lost to time, buried beneath the waves, how many others are still out there, just waiting in the dark? What else don't we know about our own story?